Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is me Iram Gul and you are watching my YouTube channel Chemtrax by IGM. Now, previous lecture we have detailed discussion about the classification of elements and the properties of metals. Today we are going to discuss about some specific properties of non-metals. The first property of non-metal is their position or the proportion of non-metal in the periodic table. All the nonmetal except hydrogen are clustered in the right corner of the periodic table. You can see the yellow color in the periodic table showing the existence of nonmetal. All the elements on the right corner of the periodic tables are non-metal in nature except hydrogen because the position of hydrogen is still controversial in the periodic table, so hydrogen is placed in the group 1 element, while non-metal include all the elements from group 8, 4 elements from group 7, 3 elements from group 6, 2 elements from group 5, and the one element that is carbon from group 4. It means carbon and all the elements from group 5, 6, 7, and 8, they are basically non-metals in nature. There are fewer elements or non-metal than the metals, so the proportion of non-metal is less as compared to the metal in the periodic table. So about 80% of elements are metal, and except that some elements are non-metals and some are metallite. So metals are very few, non-metals are very few as compared to the metals. Elements are shown here in yellow color to the right side of the periodic table. They all are basically non-metal in nature. The second thing is appearance of non-metal. Non-metal have dull surfaces because non-metals don't reflect light just like the metals, so they don't have any luster like appearance or shiny surfaces because they don't reflect light. So we can say non-metals don't have any shiny surface like metal. As you can see from the figure on the right side, there is some non-metals that are carbon, phosphorus, selenium, and sulfur. They have dull surfaces, and any one of them don't have any shiny surface because all the non-metals don't reflect light. Similarly, non-metals are bad conductor of electricity. Non-metals are insulator. The word insulator means they are the poor conductor of electricity, or they are bad conductor of electricity and heat. The specific word used for non-metal, that is electrical insulator. It means they don't conduct electricity. And why non-metals are electrical insulator? Because the atom in non-metals are arranged so that the electrons can't move freely through them. Yeah, you can see from the diagram, all the atom or particle inside a non-metal arranged in a very specific manner, so there is no any space or there is no any place for the free movement of electrons. If electrons can't move, then no electric current flows, or no electric charge can flow from the between the particle of non-metals. This is very useful. Yes, bad conduction of non-metal is also useful for us because non-metals combine to make things like plugs and electric cables. But there is also one exception, that is graphite. Graphite is allotropic form of carbon element. The carbon is non-metal, but the graphite or the allotropic form of carbon is exception for the electrical conductivity because graphite is conductor because it has layered arrangement of particles. Yes, you can see from the diagram, a layer of carbon atoms are arranged so they have some space, or they have a way for the free movement of electron or the flowing of electron. So graphite can conduct electricity, and this arrangement allows electron to move through easily. So we can say that graphite is exception from the common rule of all non-metals. Similarly, non-metals are bad conductor of heat, and the word used for bad conduction of heat, that is thermal insulator. It means they don't conduct heat. Heat doesn't travel very well at all through the non-metal. Hard particles don't pass on their vibration so well. This makes non-metal really good thermal insulator. That why non-metal are used to make things like saucepan handles. The bad conduction of heat for the non-metal have also some advantage for us, because metal saucepan get very hard during the cooking, so the handles are often made of plastic, and plastic is made up of non-metal elements which don't conduct heat. This means you can pick up the pan by its handle without getting burned. So this is the advantage of bad conduction of non-metals. Non-metals are not strong and hard wearing. Forces between the particles of non-metal are very weak. It means they can break easily. It is easy to scrub the atom or molecules of them, so they wear away quickly. As you can see from the diagram, there is a pencil, lead pencil, and layer of carbon atoms are present in the tip of pencil. When we are writing on the paper, you can see some layers of carbon or some layers of graphite left behind on the paper, because it is very easy to wear away. It is very easy for non-metal to wear away from their surfaces, because they are not strong and they are not hard wearing. Non-metals are brittle in nature. Most compounds, covalent and ionic compound made out of non-metals, tend to be brittle and will shatter if a large enough force is applied. It means they can break easily. Most non-metal compounds cannot be deformed past a certain point without breaking and will lose their strength when molded. So it is very easy to break the non-metals, and the reason is that because non-metal don't have very strong attraction forces between the particles, so it is easy to break them when we are applying a specific force on the non-metal. Non-metals have high ionization energies or electronegativities. Non-metals tend to have high ionization energies. This means that it is difficult to remove electron from the non-metals. And non-metals have high ionization energies because of how large their nuclei are compared to how full their electron shells are. Because as atomic number increases from left side of the periodic table to the right side of the periodic table, their shell or the atomic number is increases. So the large positively charged nuclei of atom like oxygen and fluorine attract their electron very strongly, making them difficult to remove. So they have high ionization energies or they have high electronegativities. Non-metals, because non-metals are not strong and they have some weak attractive forces, so that they have low melting and boiling points. Non-metal have the low boiling and melting point because they have the weak forces of attraction. The weak bonds don't require high energy to break apart, therefore they have low boiling and melting point. As you can see from the diagram, sulfur is solid at room temperature and its melting point is 113 and boiling point is 444 degrees centigrade. While oxygen, chlorine and helium, neon, they are gases and they have also their melting point in minus degree centigrade, and their melting point is their boiling point is also in minus, so they have very low melting and boiling points. And bromine is the only non-metal that is liquid at room temperature, and its melting point is -7 and its boiling point is 59. That is very low as compared to any of the metal. Non-metals have low densities. Obviously, the non-metal, which are gases, will have very low density and very light, because gases have low density as compared to the other two type of particles, solid or liquid. It means they don't have tightly packed arrangement of particles. Some of these gases even float in the air and ideal for party balloons like helium, hydrogen, and neon balloons are the example of this low density gases. Even the solid and liquid non-metals have low densities as compared to the metal. Just see the table on the right side. There is non-metal sulfur. Its density is 2.1 gram per cm cube. Sulfur is solid. Carbon is also solid, and iodine is gas. So they have low densities. But if we are going through the densities of metal, the first is iron is very dense and its density is 7.9, almost 8. Lead have also 11.3 gram per cm cube density, and gold is the more dense and the more strong metal, and its density is 19.3. Here is the comparison of metals and non-metals. First thing is their appearance. Metal have shiny appearance and non-metals have dull. State of matter at room temperature. Most of the metals are solid at room temperature except mercury, because mercury is liquid at room temperature. And about half of the non-metals are solid and half of the non-metals are gases, and one is liquid at room temperature, that is bromine. Density of metal is very high and density of non-metal is very low. Strength, non-metals are weak because they have weak attractive forces. Metals are very strong. Malleable and brittle. Metals are malleable, they bend without breaking, they have high tensile strength. But non-metals are brittle, they can break or shatter easily. If we are talking about the conduction of heat and electricity, metals are good conductor of heat and electricity, but non-metals are poor conductor of heat and electricity. So they are called as insulator, thermal insulator, and electrical insulator. Magnetic material, only iron, cobalt, and nickel metals are magnetic in nature. And on the other hand, all the non-metals are non-magnetic. Sound when hit, sonorous it means. Metals are sonorous, non-metals make a dull sound. Type of oxide they can make. Metals can make basic or alkaline oxide, while non-metals can make acidic oxide. So this is basically all the differences of the metals and non-metal, on the basis of which scientists Levizor classified elements into two main classes, that are metals and non-metals. I hope you will enjoy the lecture. Mm, Goodbye.